Hello class, this is Angela, and I'm excited to talk with you today about emphasis, rhythm, and pattern for my third post to the Essay 3 discussion. As you know, I have been analyzing The Kiss by Gustav Klimt throughout this mini-series, and will continue to discuss it throughout this post. Before we begin, I think it is important to recall the information in my first post regarding scale and proportion. The 6 feet by 6 feet canvas is breathtaking. Klimt used his large canvas wisely, painting in a complex manner with the most intricate and minute details. Yet it is also simplistic, with only three main sections: the foreground, which includes the flower bed, the middle ground, which includes the couple, and the background. Emphasis. Let's think of this as the focal point within an artwork. If we apply what we know about emphasis, then we could say Klimt emphasized a few aspects of his painting, like the flower bed, which is beautifully detailed and full of life. It has tiny budding flowers and delicate vines. And while this is, in essence, a focal point for the viewer, because they are quite close to the flower bed when looking at it in the Belvedere Museum, I think it is more correct to say the couple is the focal point, specifically the woman. The couple takes up the entire canvas and are almost godlike in their gold ornamentation and larger-than-life scale. They demand our attention above all else, specifically the woman. I say this because we see her most clearly. And what I mean by that is we see her arm around the man's neck. We see her hand gently holding the man's hand. We see her feet just clinging onto the edge of the flower bed. And we see her reaction to the kiss by the man. Her skin is almost translucent because of all the heavy decorations around her, and although she is illustrated in a cool color, she almost stands out. Klimt outlined the woman in a bluish color, which helps to separate her from the rest of the image. There also appears to be a gold halo around her from the man's cape, and the tiny flowers that sprinkle her hair help to push her forward and towards the viewer. There is a psychological focus on the couple during this intimate moment as well. We as a viewer question, how does she or he feel about the kiss? What is their story? Rhythm and pattern. Primarily this regards to any repeating artistic element. In the kiss, I believe there is not a specific pattern, as we see most clearly on the couple's dress. The rectangles on the man are interrupted by spontaneous swirls or squares, and the woman's dress does not follow a fixed pattern. I am new to art history courses, and still do not feel confident using certain art terminology. So I could very much be wrong when I say this, but I do believe there is rhythm in the kiss. Now, the shapes do not create rhythm because they are not repeating outside of their domain. The colors and the gold leaf freely touch all edges of the canvas, and they do repeat. Rhythm is created by repeating colors found in the woman's dress and in the flower bed. This connects the woman to the flowers, physically and metaphorically. The man also has a wreath of flowers, if you will. They are laurel leaves, and laurel is a sign of achievement and conquest. Knowing that makes this story about love into something a little darker. A more obvious display of repetition would be through the use of gold leaf, which we see in subordinated areas of the painting, like the background, but also more prominent areas of the piece. Its presence is not subtle. It acts as a decorative ornamentation that illuminates the canvas. It is intense because we see it so clearly. The gold acts as a motif, or glue, uniting every piece of the puzzle, which references my post 2. Thank you so much for watching, and like always, I would greatly appreciate any recommendations or constructive advice you are willing to give me.